touring plans are more than likely. But I mean, I won't be producing this album. That's his thing.
Do you have any?
It works out differently, you know, because I can't really I haven't got the time to commit myself to the whole project, you know, because Genesis are doing an album as well.
Do you have any idea of who else would be joining you guys on that tour?
No, I mean, most of the musicians that played on this last album and also the new one.
What did Led Zeppelin mean to you? Was that, I take it that's when you first became acquainted with Robert Plant.
Yeah, I mean, I really liked the first Zeppelin album, and I liked the second one quite a lot. I saw their first gig in London, and I thought they were amazing, but I mean, I kind of went off them a bit over the years. But they're still, you know, the best of what they do.
And how did you get together with Robert Plant for the solo album last time around?
That was just a phone call, really.
From him?
Yeah.
And how about
an invitation?
I see. And what about Frida from ABBA?
That was the same thing.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, did you get a lot of these?
The phone, you see.
Yeah. Did you get a lot of these offers from different artists?
Yes, I do, yeah. But I can only do some of them, you know, I can only do so many of them. Because, so my own thing and the Genesis thing takes up quite a lot of time.
Why did you select Robert Plant and Frida in particular?
Well, at the time, when I did Frida's album, I hadn't really, I mean, I produced an album for a singer called John Martin, who you probably won't have heard of, but I hadn't really done that much apart from produce my own albums, you know. So it was pretty, Frida was the first person that asked me to produce it. So I was interested in that challenge, you know. But Robert, as I say, was just, you know, just a phone call, and, you know, I'm doing an album, will you play on it? And I've done that lots of times for different people. So that really wasn't too much out of the ordinary for me, you know, it was just a sort of session.
Without betraying any confidences here, what other artists have desired to work with you?
Air Supply, Manhattan Transfer, Kim Carnes, let me see, Gina Easton, Climax Blues Band. Some strange people.
Yeah, that's a mixed bag.
Yeah.
Now,
the Nolans, I don't know if you know the Nolans.
Yeah, they're really popular in Japan.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, believe it or not.
Oh, well, I should have done their album then.
What about this John Martin?
Who?
John Martin.
Oh yeah, he's great.
Well, how did you get together with him?
He's a friend of mine.
Oh really?
Yeah, and I played on his album and did some gigs with him, and he just asked me to produce his album. So, you know, it was a very easy thing to do because we were good friends.
Where is he a friend of yours from? How long ago?
I met him at a festival I did with Gabriel, and he asked me to play on his next album. You know, the album before the one that I produced, which was then his next album. He asked me to play on it, and I said yes because I'd liked his music, and we became very good friends. And from then he asked me to produce it.
And how did that work out?
Oh, that was great fun. Yeah, I mean, the album's called Glorious Fool, and it's out in the States. I don't know if it ever came out in Japan.
I doubt it's come out over here. What do you think he has going for him? His greatest.
Oh, he's very, very, very good songwriter. I mean, it's basically jazz and blues, you know. But he's got a wonderful voice, and he writes great songs. I mean, you should really check him out because he's a very, very talented bloke.
Well, I will give the album a listen then. I'd like to ask you.
You listen. I've got one other thing I've got to do here, and I've got to go to sound check, so I'm going to have to go.
Oh, I see.
Unless we can carry it on tomorrow, you know, in a day or so's time from another city, because it's now 3:30 here, and we've got an early sound check.
Oh, really?
Yes, and I've got a car waiting to take me to a radio station.
Oh, okay. My gosh. Well, yeah, I guess we'll have to continue this later then, if at all possible.
I'd like to, yeah, because I mean, Japan is one of the places where I'd like my music to be heard.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it was about halfway through the interview now. I was just about to get to Genesis, so I guess if at all possible, can we make arrangements for a continuation here?
Did you you arrange this through the Atlantic office?
I'm not quite sure. I was just called in as a interpreter here. The people actually handling the interview are all Japanese here, so I'm not quite sure.
Well, the best thing to do, Andy, hang on a minute.
All right.
Oh, Steve, yeah, what time of day is it there?
Oh, it's 6:30 in the morning here.
Oh dear. I'm terribly sorry about that.
Oh, well, you're going to have to excuse me if I sound a little bit drowsy. We talked quite a while ago there, and I believe you...
Right, yeah.
Yeah, we talked mainly about your solo career, and today I was hoping maybe we could get into a little conversation on Genesis.
Okay.
Alrighty. Well, I'll start things off with question one then. And then there were three. The majority of the tunes were written by the three of you, I believe. How would you... Am I correct?
I mean, the tunes were actually... Around that time, there was... are you writing or what?
No, we're putting this on tape.
Okay. So I don't have to wait. Yeah, around that time of that album, we were actually getting more... I mean, Wind and Wuthering started the phase of... We started to get more into individual writing, I think. And then there were three, was like the pinnacle of that period. I mean, Tony was writing songs and coming in with them finished, and so was Mike. And I wasn't finishing songs because I was, I didn't think sort of myself as accomplished a writer to do that. So I was just sort of writing bits, and I never got around to finishing them. But so that album was really sort of doing people coming in with songs written and finished, and we just learnt them and played them. And there were a couple of tunes like Follow You, Follow Me, and The Ballad of Big, and Down and Out, which were actually group tunes. But most of them were like collaborations between one or two people. And then after that, you see, with Duke, which was the next studio album, that between and then there were three and Duke was seconds out. But around that period, after Steve had left, and I was sorting myself out because of my divorce thing, and Tony and Mike had done their own albums. It came to the point where we made Duke, and there was three. Tony and Mike had their albums finished, and I was doing mine. But there was no material around, so we decided to write as a group again, out of necessity, really, because there were no individual songs. And from then until now, we've kind of progressed to the point whereby the group really just exists for writing the songs together.
How do you go about writing together?
Well, it varies. You caught me at a good time here, because I mean, last time I spoke to you, of course, I hadn't started with Genesis. But now we speak 2.5 weeks into writing, so I'm full of it, really.
Mm.
It depends with different albums. I mean, with Duke, everybody had lots of little bits that we sort of developed and then put some together. We, sort of bounced our ideas about how to perform the different bits. So something like Turn It On Again was a mixture of Tony and Mike's bits, but the feel of the thing was very much changed by what I did, because I wanted to sort of earth and fire it a bit. So that was sort of that one area of what we do. And Abacab was a lot of writing from nothing. That's, just sort of sitting down. I mean, we've always done this kind of writing, but it, ever since the group began, we've done group writing. But there was and then there were three periods is when we started to get out of the habit of it. But with Duke, as I say, we've got the sort of little bits and pieces, and then with Abacab, we started writing from having nothing in the room at all, nothing written. And the three of us start playing around, and suddenly sort of the engine would start and we'd go.
Mm.
And this new thing we're doing, we've gone in with even less. I mean, we've actually gone in with absolutely nothing at all in some cases, and just set up a drum machine pattern or a sequencer pattern or whatever, and just started writing like that. So it changes with every tune, but generally speaking, nowadays, because myself, I've got my own career, and Tony and Mike have got their solo careers too.